Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make a buying decision. Now, all of the business details, which include the type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included in the sale can be found on the business listing. To view this information, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which is listed in the video thumbnail and the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And if after listening you want to take an even deeper dive into the business to perform your due diligence before potentially purchasing this business, you can unlock this listing to look through all of the business information, which includes the domain, the products, the P&L, and more. So can you tell us a little about your background in building and running online businesses?
I started the Amazon merch business back in 2017, and at the time I was actually doing Amazon FBA. And I've always been on the lookout for new business opportunities that are location independent. I'm a big lover and fan of traveling, and I actually spend the majority of each year abroad. So I've always wanted my businesses to support that lifestyle in which I could grow and manage my business from anywhere in the world. And when I came across Amazon Merch, it was actually quite interesting because it solved a lot of the problems and challenges that I was having with Amazon FBA. One of the biggest challenges with FBA is the fact of having the right amount of inventory. Because if you have too much inventory, then your product is sitting in the Amazon warehouses, you're paying storage fees, and when you have too little inventory, then you have the problem of your products going out of stock. And you always have this back and forth, and of course, the challenges that come with getting your product shipped from abroad and into the warehouse and all of those things. And Amazon Merch really solved all of those problems because, you really don't have to have any inventory at all. You put designs on the marketplace and you get them ranked. And after that, Amazon takes care of everything else. Your product is automatically shipped as Prime, so it gets to your customers fast. You don't have to do any printing, any shipping, any customer service. So it really was, it seemed to me a very efficient model, right? So then I just signed up for an Amazon Merch account and kind of treated it at first like a hobby because, for the years prior to that, I was on Amazon FBA and eBay, and that was my main business. And on the side, I just, every day design and upload it into the Amazon, marketplace. But over time, I really started pretty fast actually seeing the opportunity in which I started seeing some sales come in, and I saw how effective and easy it was because I didn't really have to do anything after the sale came in. So then from then on, I really treated it like an Amazon FBA in which I use a lot of my techniques from the FBA business into the merch by doing research, seeing what do customers like to wear, designing for those specific niches and doing a really good SEO in which the products are found by the customers. And then utilizing Amazon ads to get each listing ranked. So, it wasn't much about just putting out a lot of stuff. It was putting out the correct products out there for the customer and really ranking each of them as much as possible, to perform well.
So why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
My skill set has always been in building businesses. And it's not so much about managing them. I'm really good about, my skill really comes in finding the opportunity and building it and getting it to a point where it could be scaled out further. But personally, I don't really want to manage it at that point. And also, in addition to that, I'm also involved in a few different business opportunities at the moment. So I just kind of want to, streamline it and get this account into the hands of somebody that would either like to just manage it as it is or grow it further if they like.
What did you learn from building this business that worked for you, or what do you think contributed to the success you experienced with this business?
As I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I did from the beginning was treat the Amazon merch kind of like an Amazon FBA business. Even though I didn't have to do the branding and finding the product and shipping it to the warehouse, I still had to really find what does the customer in each niche want? What kind of designs would they like? And do all of the best practices of SEO and using Amazon ads, all of the things that you would do in an Amazon FBA business in the Amazon merch. So that's one of the things that I think that worked. And over time, it really, helped in the exponential growth of the business. And the second thing that worked was that I really stayed always away from anything that is risky. What I mean by that is that Amazon merch, you could design anything and put it on the marketplace, but it always goes into a review process in which Amazon checks it to make sure that it complies with the terms of service. And what a lot of other people that I've seen do in the community is that they do risky things. They do, for example, Disney products or things that are trademarked or copyrighted. They kind of look for that short-term revenue. But what I did was we always stayed away from that. We always focused on doing evergreen niches and niches that are safe, going after things that customer would look for throughout the year and just kept the account safe. And I think that is one of the biggest important things about this, because I saw many people lose their account in the last 5 years, or they went through, highs and lows. While for our business, it really kind of stayed steady and on a steady climb up, because we always used the best practices and went after niches, did a lot of research of what a customer would want to see on a shirt. So even though, in Amazon FBA, you do that because you are investing also into the production cost of the product. So you want to make sure that the right product is put together. So even though we don't really have that, technically you could just put out a bunch of designs on Merch by Amazon and it wouldn't cost you that much money to do. But we always wanted to make sure that the design was perfect, it was in the right niches. And I think that is one of the biggest things that worked for us.
Got it. So was there anything you tried that didn't work out as well?
Over time, since getting into Merch by Amazon in 2017, Amazon has over time launched more products. At the time when I first started, they only had standard shirts, hoodie, a sweatshirt, but over time they added pop sockets and phone cases and all kinds of different products, as well as different marketplaces, because in the beginning it was only the US market. Now they have several other markets like Italy and Spain and Germany and Japan and so on. And one thing that I got involved with and then took quite a bit of our time was getting into the new products that were launched. So for example, I remember when the phone cases and the pillows were launched, we really spent a lot of time making designs for pillows and phone cases and those things that took away some time from the products that were doing the best, which is the shirts and the hoodies and those things. So I would say, it's not that it didn't work necessarily. It's that the time was better spent putting it into the products that are selling the most instead of the products that are new, right? So what then we ended up doing a couple of years back was then we put more of our focus back into the products that are selling the most. So that's something that we learned. It wasn't necessarily that it didn't work. It was just that our time was better utilized putting it into what's bringing the most money.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
In the last 5 years of running this Amazon merch business, we did a lot of things to really streamline the process. And currently, it really doesn't take that much time to maintain it. Personally, I only spend, I would say, 1 or 2 hours max on the business. And I have a virtual assistant that helps me with the ad maintenance. And that only requires, I would say, 3 to 4 hours maximum per week. And that is even, I would say, on the high side. But the Amazon merch business right now is at a point where it really doesn't need that much maintenance to be run. Majority of the process, we have a lot of designs out already live. on the account and they are very well ranked. So right now it's all about keeping an eye on the ads to make sure that they're continuing to be optimized. And we do have quite an efficient system in place in which, with the future buyer, I will be definitely going over. And it's to a point where it has a really, really minimum maintenance.
Now, if you were to keep the business, what are some ways you would try to grow it?
What's quite interesting about this Amazon merch business is that even though it doesn't require much time to maintain, at the same time, a lot of ways to grow the business further. And for me, I really see 4 ways to do this. One of them is to do further ad optimizations. You could put in more money into the ads that are already optimized to take them to the next level, to get the products in front of even more buyers, right? That's one way to do it. Many of these listings are very well ranked with several, hundreds of reviews, and, putting more money behind them on ads is definitely one route to take. The second option is scaling to other products. So Amazon Merch makes it quite easy to actually take your existing products and put them onto other products. You could put a design onto hoodies, or you could put a design into pillows and all kinds of products that they have available. So that's the other way to scale the business. And the third way is to scale to other marketplace. And that's something that we didn't really pay much attention to. And there are many people that are doing exceptionally well on Amazon Merch, particularly in the UK, Germany markets. And some of them are even doing better in those markets than the US market. So that's something that we didn't really pay much attention to. But these products could be further optimized for those marketplaces. Ads could be run into those products in those marketplaces to get them ranked more. So it's definitely opportunity there. And the fourth, and obviously the most obvious, would be new designs. So if somebody wants to, you could make more designs and get them ranked and put them into different marketplaces. And there's really those 4 ways to continue to grow the business. And a lot of it could be done by one person. It could be done by virtual assistants. It really has a lot of flexibility. And also what is quite interesting is that Amazon Merch over time has shown that they are constantly looking to add more products. So I would only predict that in the coming months and years, there's going to be even more products and more opportunities that would present themselves.
And what are the biggest risks with this business that a buyer should be aware of?
The risk with the Amazon Merch business is the fact that we are playing on the court of Amazon, right? We are using Amazon services, and anytime, Amazon could suspend the account, could close the account, or they could shut down the service, right? That is something that is true for Amazon Merch, for Amazon FBA, Amazon Affiliate, anything that utilizing the Amazon platform, there is always that risk. But at the same time, there is ways to minimize it, which is what we did by, being safe and putting not risky products to really minimize that chance.
And how much support are you willing to offer a buyer who acquires this business?
This business has been something that we have been quite passionate about for the last 5 years. And it's very important to me that it goes to the right hands and the future buyer has all the tools necessary to be comfortable with running the business and growing it. I mentioned that I'm willing to go beyond the standard 30 days of support and provide 60 days of email and phone and Zoom support. And we'll definitely be there to ensure that the future buyer is comfortable and is going to be succeeding in this business. And I do think also that if the buyer has the Amazon background, in particular Amazon FBA, is going to be quite seamless and quite easy, because a lot of the work that we're going to be doing is going to be going into ad optimizations. If you come from the Amazon FBA background, you likely have that background as well. So it's going to be very, very easy. But regardless, I think a very seamless operation, and I will be there to provide the support along the way.
And regarding the sale of this business, just confirming you commit to a non-compete?
I do commit to the non-compete part of the Empire Flippers terms of service. And the main reason that I'm selling this business in the first place is that, I would like to put more time into the other projects that I'm working on. So I'm not intending to open up another Merch by Amazon business at all. Definitely, there's nothing to worry about in that part. And I do commit to that part of the terms of service.
And are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I definitely do prefer an all cash upfront deal, but I am open to considering an earnout based on the details and the buyer.
Now, putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why do you think this is a business worth buying?
I think that this Amazon merch business is a good purchase because it fits both an active as well as a passive buyer. And what I mean by that is that in its current state, it is a cash flowing asset in which very minimal work is required to produce income each month. And if a buyer doesn't want to do that much work and just wants to maintain it, that's definitely a great business to purchase because you don't need to do that much for it to continue to bring you income. But at the same time, if the buyer wants to be active on it, there's a lot of opportunities to continue to grow this business. And those I've already mentioned earlier as well. So there's definitely both routes or a combination of both. So for that reason, I think that it's a great purchase.
Is there anything else you'd like to add that you think I might have missed during the interview?
I just wanted to thank you for listening to this interview, and I'm looking forward to discussing this business with potential buyers. And I have opened up my calendar for the upcoming weeks to potential buyers that want to meet up and discuss it further. So definitely feel free to book a time slot with me on the calendar to go into more details if you are interested, as well as if you have any questions, definitely feel free to let me know and I'll be more than happy to answer them.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which is listed in the video thumbnail and the description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. And once you've unlocked this listing, you'll be given everything you need to know about this business. So thanks for joining us, and until next time.